Welcome to the Checkout Point, your quick dive into this week's e-commerce buzz with me, Alex, powered by Blicket. These 20 minutes pack the latest trends, news, and insights. Let's navigate the digital marketplace together. Ready? Let's go!
What's up, everyone? Welcome to The Checkout Point by Blicket.co, your quick hit source for everything e-commerce. I'm Max, coming to you slightly over-caffeinated as usual.
And I'm Rachel, glad to be here, coffee in hand as well. We're powering through week 24 of the year, bringing you the latest e-commerce news. How's your week going, Max?
It's going great. Just getting ready for Father's Day, you know? I actually found some great gift ideas online this year, keeping it innovative, just like in e-commerce.
That sounds perfect for this Sunday. Can't wait to hear what you picked up. I've been diving into something myself this week. Our latest blog post on Blicket.co. It's called, What is a Customer Touchpoint? Unlocking the Secret to E-commerce Success. I'm super excited to peel back the layers on this one during our show today.
Oh, absolutely. I read that last night. Really insightful stuff. We've got that and a whole lot more packed for today. First up, we're talking about customer touchpoints.
Then we've got the scoop on Walmart's leap into Luxe. Think Rolex and Gucci and how it could shake up our shopping carts.
Oh, and you won't believe what's happening with AI in shopping. We've got discussions on both Walmart and Shopify's AI adventures, which are reshaping consumer experiences.
Speaking of Shopify, we'll also tackle the big question of whether their stock market surge is truly AI-powered success, or if there's a bit more skepticism behind the numbers.
Exactly. And for those looking beyond their borders, stick around as we dive into cross-border e-commerce and see how small businesses are scaling globally. Not to forget, we're examining the latest e-commerce tools, from AI-driven pricing strategies to augmented reality shopping experiences. It's a packed show.
And finally, imagine running a billion-dollar online store on your own. We'll see if it's really possible with today's cutting-edge tools and strategies.
Loads to cover. Let's dive in. Ready, Rachel?
Always ready. Let's get started.
Hey, Rachel, I was scrolling through our website earlier, and I couldn't help but dive back into that recent blog post we published. What is a customer touchpoint? Unlocking the secret to e-commerce success. It's a goldmine for anyone in the e-commerce space.
Absolutely, Max. It's one of those topics that sounds straightforward but has so many layers underneath. Every interaction, no matter how small, shapes the customer's perception of a brand. I think that point really jumps out in the blog.
Right, and that's what's fascinating. It's like, consider even the most minor things, like an automated "your order is on the way" email. People often overlook these as mundane, but they're actually key moments that can strengthen or weaken a customer's trust.
Definitely, and that's what makes understanding customer touchpoints so crucial. They're not just about direct communication. It's every possible interaction from browsing the website to the feedback request a customer gets after receiving their order.
Exactly, and I think one thing the post does really well is breaking down the types of touchpoints: digital, physical, human, and non-human. It's a neat framework that can help businesses strategize about how they manage these interactions.
And speaking of strategy, remember the part about the moment of truth strategies? That concept blew my mind. It emphasizes those exact points in the customer journey where a touch point has the highest impact on customer experience.
Oh, absolutely. Getting that right is like finding the secret sauce. It could really make the difference between a one-time buyer and a lifelong customer.
That's why I think anyone listening should really check this article out, especially if you're involved in e-commerce or customer service in any way. It's packed with insights that could give you an edge.
Agreed. Dive into the full post on our website, and hey, maybe start thinking about your own customer touchpoints. You might uncover something transformative.
And who doesn't love a good transformation story, right? I know I do. All right, let's keep moving. Max, what's up next on our list today?
So, Rachel, hot off the press, Walmart is diving into the used luxury fashion game. We're talking big names like Rolex and Gucci. That's quite a leap from their usual offerings, huh?
Absolutely, Max. It's like seeing your local diner start serving gourmet meals alongside the usual breakfast platter. But I'm not entirely convinced yet. The Luxe market has its nuances, right?
You hit the nail on the head. It's all about the vibe. I mean, walking into a Gucci store versus scrolling through Walmart's website, it's a totally different ballgame. But they seem serious about making waves across diverse market segments.
That does ring true. Speaking of customer engagement, remember our chat about customer touchpoints earlier? Walmart's not just stopping at luxury goods.
Oh, you're talking about their social customer engagement strategy. Totally. It's like they're weaving a digital tapestry, a mix of tweets, Insta posts, and now luxury fashion deals popping up on your feed.
Exactly. It's fascinating to see them leveraging those touchpoints, ensuring that every interaction is more tailored and engaging. It's critical, especially if they want folks to feel confident buying a Rolex where they also get their gardening supplies.
Right? Now toss in drone delivery into the mix. Walmart's expanding that to 5 more cities. Imagine buying a Rolex and it just flying to your doorstep. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Seriously, drone deliveries sound super cool, but I gotta wonder how it'll reshape shopping norms. Like if you decide last minute to buy a fancy gift, could a drone make it in time for your dinner date?
Speedy service, future style. But here's what I'm wondering. Remember how we're diving into AI and e-commerce next? Imagine AI detecting that someone hesitated on a Rolex purchase, and suddenly, they get a drone delivery option pop up to seal the deal faster.
Ooh, the blend of high-tech engagement and old-school luxury. Walmart's basically crafting a new e-commerce potion there. They're trying to shake things up, ensuring every potential hesitation turns into a conversion. It's like turning maybe later into yes now with a touch of magic. But let's see if their gamble pays off, transforming window shoppers into luxury buyers on a platform traditionally seen as more utilitarian.
Yeah, navigating those brand perceptions will be crucial. But if anyone's got the resources to try, it's Walmart. Roll out the red carpet alongside the rollback prices, right?
Absolutely, Max. What a combo. It'll be interesting to watch this unfold and see how they handle those deluxe details in a discount-dominated domain.
For sure, Rachel. It'll either be a game changer or a learning curve. Either way, I'm here for the ride.
As are our listeners, I bet. Stay tuned for more wild rides in the world of e-commerce, folks.
All right, so we just talked about Walmart's move into luxury used fashion, which is pretty fascinating. But sticking with Walmart for a sec, they're making some big plays with AI in regular shopping and searches too. It's like they're in every corner of the e-commerce world.
I was just thinking about that. It seems like they're really leveraging AI to understand their customers better. Did you read about how AI is now being used to detect when a shopper is hesitating over a purchase?
Yes, and it's super cool how that works. Essentially, AI can pick up on signals like how long someone lingers on a product page or if they keep returning to the same item without buying. It's like having a virtual sales assistant who knows exactly when to step in and offer a little nudge.
But here's what I'm wondering. How intrusive is that? I mean, on one hand, it's brilliant for boosting sales, but on the other, do you think it feels a bit too big, brother?
Good point, Rachel. It's kind of a fine line, right? But consider this. The AI doesn't just spy. It actually tries to provide value, offering discounts or showing reviews that could help sway your decision if you're on the fence.
True, true. That could definitely be helpful, especially with something like Father's Day coming up. I can't tell you how many times I've hesitated on which gadget would make the perfect gift for my dad.
Oh, speaking of great gifts, that ties back into our last segment about high-end items like Rolex watches at Walmart. Imagine buying your dad a luxury watch with the help of AI that knows you're looking for a killer Father's Day present.
Now that would be an epic Father's Day gift. And it actually reminds me of how Shopify is advancing in this area too. They're tailoring their platform to be more intuitive, helping sellers connect better with potential buyers. Guess we need to keep that in mind for our next segment, huh?
Absolutely, that's a great teaser. And getting back to AI, when you think about Walmart and Shopify both using these tools, it sets a certain standard, doesn't it? It pushes all retailers to up their game.
Definitely. It's all about enhancing that customer experience. But I'm a tad skeptical about how much AI can really understand human emotions. I mean, hesitation could be for so many reasons, not just indecision that can be solved with a discount or review.
Totally, sometimes you just need a moment to think about your budget or compare products. AI is not quite at the mind-reading level yet. But it's fascinating to see tech trying to bridge that gap.
Exactly. It's all about making that shopping experience as smooth as possible. Whether it's deciding on a tech gadget for Father's Day or choosing between a luxury watch and another splurge.
So true, Rachel. It's about finding that balance between helpful and intrusive. And honestly, it'll be interesting to see how AI evolves in that role, especially as we see more integration across different platforms and types of shopping.
Definitely a space to watch. And speaking of watching, I guess we better get ready to dive into what's happening over at Shopify next. Sounds like there's a lot to unpack there as well.
You bet. Let's keep this tech train rolling. So, jumping right off from our chat about AI and e-commerce, there's some super cool news from Shopify that's buzzing, and honestly, it might just be a game changer.
Oh, really? I mean, I know Shopify's always sort of been at the frontier of retail tech, but what's the latest scoop?
Check this out. Apparently, their stock popped big time today. It seems investors are really vibing with something going on over there.
Interesting. I was just thinking about how that ties into what we discussed with AI. I wonder if it's their innovation streak that's catching everyone's eyes, or is there more to it?
Well, you might be onto something. It's like this mix of excitement and speculation, right? On one hand, there's Wells Fargo predicting a double-digit upside for Shopify's stock, which is huge. Like seriously, double digits.
No way, that's pretty impressive. But here's what I'm wondering, what's fueling this optimism? I mean, in the land of e-commerce, it isn't just about having a great platform anymore. It's also how you innovate and use technology, like AI helping with customer hesitation we talked about earlier.
Exactly, and speaking of tech, the bulls seem to think Shopify is just scratching the surface with how they can expand and grow. It's not just selling products, it's about creating seamless experiences. Which reminds me, Father's Day is this Sunday, and I was on Shopify last night trying to find the perfect geeky gadget for Dad. He's impossible to shop for.
That's such a good point, and hey, good luck with the dad gifts. But back to Shopify. It sounds like they're leveraging all this tech to stay on top. Although, I gotta throw a pinch of skepticism into the mix. What are the bears saying? There's usually a flip side, right?
Bringing in the balance. I like it. Well, some bears are a bit hesitant, thinking maybe Shopify's current value is a bit too optimistic, given how competitive the market is. They argue that the stock surge might be more about market sentiment than actual financial ground.
So a classic bull versus bear showdown. It's almost like a forecast that says sunny days ahead, but you might want to keep an umbrella handy just in case.
I couldn't have said it better. And with the market always evolving, especially with how cross-border e-commerce is shaping up, which, oh, by the way, we'll be diving into next, it really puts Shopify's moves into perspective. Are they paving the way or just keeping pace?
Right, and it's that strategy behind the scenes that could really make or break their next phase. It's fascinating to see how this will all play out, especially considering how interconnected everything is. AI, global markets, and consumer trends.
Absolutely, it's all intertwined. And speaking of which, understanding these trends isn't just vital for investors, but for anyone keen on where technology meets commerce. So, do you think Shopify's riding the wave just right?
Honestly, I think they might be, but it's always a gamble in tech. You've got to play the long game and adapt swiftly. And considering what we've seen in terms of how AI ties into e-commerce, they might just have the right toolkit.
That's for sure. Got to keep those tools handy. Maybe even include a digital Swiss Army knife.
Always prepared, right? Well, I'm keen to see how their strategies unfold and how they might influence or adapt with those emerging e-commerce markets we're about to get into.
It's definitely a space to watch. And for all our listeners tinkering with their own online ventures, there's much to learn from these big players. So, Rachel, speaking of Shopify's latest pops, which we just talked about, it turns out the whole e-commerce world is kind of buzzing right now. It's not just about selling locally anymore.
Exactly. I was just reading about these cross-border e-commerce operators. It's like everyone's looking to sell globally now. And honestly, the strategies they're coming up with are super interesting.
Right? It's like the internet's turned into this giant international marketplace overnight. We've got all these emerging markets opening up, which is super cool because it's not just the big guys playing the game anymore.
I know, and that's what I find so fascinating. Like, imagine a small business from, let's say, here in Kentucky, being able to sell handcrafted goods all the way in Japan. It's so empowering, isn't it?
Totally. It's a game changer. But here's the deal. Getting your product across those borders isn't just about shipping it out and calling it a day. There's a whole lot of digital magic going on behind the scenes to make this possible.
Yeah, and I'm not entirely convinced everyone's ready for that leap. I mean, think about the complexities. There's language barriers, cultural nuances, and not to forget, legal hoops to jump through.
Oh, for sure. You hit the nail on the head. But that reminds me of what we're going to dive into next with the new e-commerce tools coming out. It's like there's this toolkit evolving to help tackle these exact challenges.
And it's not just tools that are changing, it's the talent too. The article pointed out how there's a whole new breed of operators who are savvy with international laws, languages, and digital marketing across borders.
Right? It's wild. You remember those cartoons where each character has gadgets popping out of nowhere to solve problems?
Oh, totally.
Well, e-commerce pros these days are kind of like that, but with digital tools. They've got a tool for this regulation, a tool for that payment gateway.
They're like the Swiss Army knives of the digital world. But, it's not just about having the tools. It's about knowing when and how to use them effectively.
No way, couldn't agree more. It's one thing to own a guitar, and totally another to know how to play an epic solo on it.
Exactly. And the solo today seems to be going global with your business. Just makes me wonder what the digital landscape will look like in, say, 5 years.
With the speed things are changing, I'm betting it's going to be full of surprises. And speaking of change, those new e-commerce tools we're about to get into next seem like they could be part of making those surprises pretty awesome.
Can't wait to dive into that. Knowing what's up and coming is going to help a lot of our listeners who are thinking about expanding their businesses or just starting out.
Absolutely, we're all about staying ahead of the curve here. And these tools, well, they're just what you need for that global jam session.
I love that analogy. All right, let's keep our eyes on that global stage. Seems like it's going to be quite the show.
So, diving right into today's hot topic, have you seen the latest on these new e-commerce tools just released this June?
Oh, yes. I was just looking at that. There's this whole array of tools popping up that seem super geared toward making life easier for online sellers, like really streamlining the process.
Exactly. I mean, it's like every time you blink, there's a new game changer on the market. But here's the deal. One of these tools I read about apparently uses AI to automatically adjust your pricing based on what competitors are doing. Super cool, right?
That's pretty smart. But here's what I'm wondering. How does it ensure you're not constantly undercutting yourself to a point where profits just vanish?
The classic race to the bottom, right? But check this out. The AI they're using isn't just any old AI. It's designed to balance competitiveness with profitability. So it's kind of like having a super intelligent assistant who says, hey, let's make this move, but let's not get too crazy.
I see, like a virtual chess master for pricing. Neat analogy. That reminds me, we talked about emerging e-commerce markets in the last segment. And now with tools like this, these new market entrants can really hold their own against big players.
Exactly. And speaking of big players, this integration between technology and user-friendliness just keeps leveling the playing field. But moving on, there's also something for the customer end, right?
Oh, for sure. There's another tool that caught my eye. It's this augmented reality app that lets you see the product in your space before you buy it. Imagine you're shopping for a lamp. This app lets you visualize how it lights up your room through your phone's camera before clicking that buy button.
That is a game changer. No more buyer's remorse because what you see is literally what you get. But honestly, do you think people will take the time to use it?
Initially, maybe not everyone. But think back to when online reviews first became a thing. Now, can you imagine buying something without checking those? It's all about habits catching on.
True. Speaking of reviews and customer insights, that's what we're diving into in our next segment, where we're going to explore some books on startups and what they reveal about understanding customer behavior.
Oh, that's going to be fascinating, especially connecting how tools like these not only help sellers, but also provide deep insights into consumer habits. It's all interconnected, right?
Absolutely. It's like each piece of the puzzle fits together to provide a clearer picture of the modern e-commerce landscape. The tools are evolving, and so are the strategies around them.
For sure. I'm really intrigued to see how all these innovations will play out in real-world scenarios.
Same here, Rachel. It's like watching a live experiment in the fast-evolving world of digital commerce.
Yep, and as always, we'll keep tabs on these developments and bring our listeners the latest. It's never a dull moment with e-commerce.
Never a dull moment indeed. The space just keeps getting more and more exciting. So, Rachel, we just talked about some pretty nifty e-commerce tools that came out this June, right? But let's pivot a bit. Imagine running a billion-dollar store. Just you, no big team. Sounds kind of crazy, huh?
Absolutely, Max. I mean, it feels almost like a superhero story. But seriously, that's what this article I stumbled upon was discussing. Can one person actually manage an entire billion-dollar e-commerce store?
That's wild. But, it kind of ties in with what we were talking about with those e-commerce tools. New tech might just make that possible. Think about it. That's like being a one-man band rocking out in a huge stadium.
Exactly. And it's not just about having the right tools, but also using them smartly. Speaking of which, I read this fascinating piece about the top books on startups, founders, and investors. These books give a deep dive into the strategies that have lifted some founders to such heights where, yeah, they might just run a billion-dollar business solo.
Soaking in that wisdom from the greats, huh? Can you imagine flipping through a book and then, boom, next day you're running a billion-dollar gig from your laptop at a coffee shop?
Honestly, Max, that would be the dream. But here's what I'm wondering. How do these books and ideas translate into real, actionable strategies for someone just starting? I mean, it's super inspiring to read about these massive successes, but how do we bridge that gap?
Totally. And that's where customer insights come into play, right? Knowing what your customer wants before they do. Like, imagine having a crystal ball, but instead, it's just super smart data analysis.
Oh, that's a good point. And those insights really tie back into both choosing the right tools and learning from the pros. It's all connected. You use the tools to gather insights and insights to refine your tools. A perfect loop.
Right? It's like being in a video game where every upgrade makes you stronger.
Oh, totally. But it does make me think. These stories of runaway success, they're super motivating, but also a bit intimidating. What does it really take to reach that level? Is it all just being at the right place at the right time?
The eternal question. But I think it's a mix, luck, hard work, and definitely knowing your stuff. Like, remember those new tools we discussed earlier? I bet they don't just make things faster. They probably give you a sharper edge, too.
True. I guess it's about leveraging everything you can get your hands on. Technology, insights from books, understanding your customer, and maybe having a dash of that superhero mojo wouldn't hurt either.
Add a cape, and you're golden. But seriously, it's about using all these resources, whether it's cutting-edge tools or time-tested strategies from a book, to really understand and then engage your audience.
Absolutely. Whether you're aiming to manage a billion-dollar store or just start your own little niche market, it sounds like the journey begins with understanding and insight.
Couldn't agree more. Like piecing together a giant puzzle where every piece is crucial. And hey, who doesn't love a good puzzle, right?
Right? Well, speaking of puzzles, I'm pretty eager to see how all these elements we've talked about today will continue to evolve. It's like watching a live experiment in the world of e-commerce.
Exactly. And that's what keeps it so exciting. There's always something new to learn and maybe a new chapter to write in your own e-commerce success story.
I love that thought. Keep learning, keep experimenting. Who knows? Maybe one of our listeners out there will be the next big solo success story we read about.
Now that would be something. Can't wait to see it happen. And just like that, we're wrapping up week 24 here on the checkout point. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Man, did we cover a lot or what?
We really did, Max. From Walmart's luxury leap to Shopify's stock surge, it's been a full episode. It was especially interesting to see how AI is playing such a huge role across different e-commerce platforms.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of roles, don't forget that Father's Day is this Sunday. If any of you are using those AI-driven shopping tools to pick out gifts, think of us when you snag that perfect present.
That's a great call, Max. And if you've enjoyed exploring all these buzzing topics with us, from global e-commerce strategies to whether one person can truly run a billion-dollar online store, we'd love it if you joined us again next week. We'll have more e-commerce news for you, and yes, probably a few more of Max's, let's call them, unique jokes.
Hey, they're not that bad. But yeah, swing by blicket.co if you want more resources to boost your e-commerce game. Who knows? Maybe you'll find something that helps with your last-minute Father's Day shopping.
Definitely worth checking out. Remember, whether you're a seasoned seller or just curious about the latest in e-commerce, there's always something new to discover. And we love being here to explore it all with you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So, until next week, keep innovating, keep shopping, and hey, keep laughing.
Take care, everyone. We'll catch you next week. Goodbye.